Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, I'm currently live, just finishing up my round 1 champions meetings runs. Went 17 out of 20 for the first day on that, but for today I thought I'd go ahead and showcase how to build a Narita Taishin going into the Libra Cup, because now I'm starting to focus on Libra Cup. I kind of talked a little bit about building parents already. I'll probably make some more videos on that. But this one I thought I'd just do a quick run to kind of showcase the Narita Taishin. I think she's going to be still very strong going into Libra Cup, just like she was good in Gemini Cup. With the downside being that everybody else is going to be a lot stronger because of No Stopping Me. But Narita Taishin, if you get her Encroaching Shadow and she pops Encroaching Shadow and No Stopping Me, there's no stopping her. She's getting 0.8 Excel and taking off. And so I have not actually had crazy luck on my runs yet, but I've had crazy good stats with bad RNG. Literally just finished one live on stream here, where I got Turf S, Long S. These are my stats. At the end of Summer 2, I basically got no speed rainbows, like literally none. I was at like 900, maybe 800. And it literally just was not giving me speed. I kind of got screwed to the point where I was having to take low hits just because of lack of rainbows. I could only delay so long. Now, I have tried different variations of her. This is not how many I've run. I've run a lot more than these. I throw them away like candy before the run even finishes. But these are the ones that I've actually finished. As you can kind of see, I'm getting some consistency in those levels. Now, I will say, for a free-to-play, you're not going to get these numbers, but this will still be able to kind of show how to build one to get something that's still going to be competitive. I'm trying to build one that's going to get like a 95% win rate. So, it's going to be a little bit different, but this will work even if you are free-to-play or don't have access to the kind of cards I have. And I'll kind of give you some ideas of how to work it when it comes to your parents, grandparents, and cards. And so, disregarding, I mean, this one's another one that I got Turf S, Long S. Very similar in the numbers here. I just can't get speed rainbows after Summer 2. Now, I've tried different decks. And so, kind of look at some of the decks that I've tried out and kind of explain my reasoning behind them. So, if you know my polls on Rico, I was actually terrible luck on getting her. So this was a build that we were attempting where I want to guarantee Umastand. Umastand's very, very strong, and she does not come with it built in. And so the idea was I use power cards and Rare Rico, and then my 2 speeds with the Zuna. This went okay. The big problem with this one is I way overcapped power. And the reason is my parents are very power loaded. So I have 2 stamina on the top and 3 power on all the grandparents. And then this one has 2 stamina. And so I'm very front loaded on power sparks. So I actually need more stamina than I need power when it comes to my support cards. This is where it's going to be different depending on the sparks you have built. You've probably heard from other content creators, maybe even myself, when it comes to what your recommended sparks should be. And I think it just depends on what you have card-wise. And so when it comes to me, I have built a lot of strong power cards because I have a triple power, triple long gold ship that I can use to build parents. If you've lucked out to end up having like a triple stamina, triple long, or even double long, then you might want to adjust. If you have heavy stamina sparks, which I do on one of mine, let me see if I actually used it here. So I actually have this Seiyun Sky as well, which is a triple stamina, double long, triple URI final. You can build Umas with stamina sparks as well. And using those, you can then go this power direction with the power Rice Shower, which is the current link match that was on the Rico banner. I think a lot of people should have at least copies of her. And you could go the power route, and this will help you. This run didn't go very well either. But with the stamina sparks, now you can just make up your power from hitting power and then kind of bleed into stamina. I think that's the main strategy you're hearing from a lot of other content creators, where it's trying to get as close to 9 stamina, 9 power, and go power cards instead of stamina cards. If you're like me, you go high power sparks, which I have very high power sparks, and instead go stamina cards. So this is what I'm currently using, and I found this is the best for my current setup. This is a whale deck, but it's all replaceable. One, if you've had better luck on the Rico banner, hopefully you have a good copy of her. If not, you have the rare Rico. Rare Rico works. You're just not going to get as strong of numbers. For your speed cards, Sweep Tosho, I mean, any speed card works. Sweep Tosho, King Halo, what's the one? You can't use the Narita Taishin card, but Taishin Flash, whatever your best speed card is, paired with Kita-san Black. If you don't have 3 Limit Break or higher Kita-san Black, of course, that's your borrow. With that, stamina cards, Mayano, I mean, just any stamina card works. Mayano Top Gun, Manhattan Cafe, of course, which I'm using. There's quite a few others. You have the free ones as well, Silent Suzuka. The stamina cards here are mostly for the stamina other than Super Creek. We absolutely need Super Creek for Swinging Maestro. Either that or Rice Shower. I use Tamamo Cross because she comes with Tail Held High. Not a must-have, but it is a nice skill because of how cheap it is. But that's just some of your options. This is kind of the build to go with if you're going high power. If you're going high stamina, you'll focus power card instead. That's kind of the strategy when it comes to building her. Now I have used Tazuna on some of my runs, and we'll kind of go ahead and start the run here because I'm going to do a full run here to kind of showcase all the decisions I make as I'm running her. Of course, I've got to delete one. Let's just get rid of some random one. I like to keep the other ones as examples. But we're going to do a full run. I'm going to showcase and kind of explain all the decisions I make in it for those who want to build what I think is going to be one of the strongest Umas in this. Alongside Gold Chip, it's just like Gemini Cup, other than the fact that No Stopping Me makes like all the every Uma good. Every Uma can be good because every Uma can trigger No Stopping Me. But Narita Taishin has her own Gold Excel that she can activate every single time. Now, one of the reasons I like using Power Sparks and hitting Stamina instead of using Stamina Sparks and hitting Power is she has 20% in Guts. And with the Guts buff, while you don't want to directly target Guts itself because it's still not that strong when it comes to your builds, Stamina bleeds into Guts while Power bleeds into Stamina. By going heavy on Power or going heavy on Stamina Sparks and hitting Power for your additional Stamina, you're not taking advantage of this 20% Guts. If you're doing it the other way, where you have a lot of Power Sparks, and then you're just bleeding in Power from Speed, and then hitting Stamina to make your Stamina cap, you're also going to bleed in and get additional Guts, which can help you, especially if you're able to get over 600 Guts, which I pretty much do every time. And so that'll help you win the Guts battles and that as they go on in the game. Not a main target, but because she's strong in it, that's why I do prefer hitting Stamina. And then she does come with Encroaching Shadow, which is the gold one, that as long as you don't fail the wit check, is a 0.4 Excel, which is very, very strong on this one. If you hit this alongside No Stopping Me and you have max speed with long S, you're very likely to win because it's going to be very hard to beat. And, oh, I've seen someone also mention another good speed card. Shinko Windy is a very, very good card as well. But that's kind of my reasoning by using a lot of power and speed. Now, if you're doing Gold Chip, which I think a lot of people are going to be doing her, she's one where you could prop, because she's 20% stamina, 10% power. She's a very good candidate for having half and half. Half stamina sparks, half power sparks, using 2 power cards, and getting all of your stamina from power cards, and then trying to max out, getting as many speed cards, so like 3 or 4 speed cards, to then hopefully max or get as high as you can power with high enough speed and then getting the required stamina. But I'll do a separate video on Gold Chip. She's a little bit different. And so we'll go right into it. I have my Umas here. As you can see, I have 2 stamina on the top for both of them. Long 2. This one got Turf 3. Really, really nice because it is possible for me to get Turf S and Long S. I've gotten it quite a few times. The Biwa and Winning Ticket are simply for affinity. I find that Narita Taishin has a lot of Umas that she's got a lot of affinity with, but these are, I think, the highest, at least for Umas that I have. I don't have Narita Bryan and all that. And then Of course, on the grandparents, I have a gold chip with power 3, long 3, you're a final 1. And then I borrow a Hishi Amazon I found that's out there. Power 3, long 3, Uma stand 2. Best I could find with Uma stand and these being at 3. And I used the same thing for building her. And so it's all longs. So very good shot at long S. And a potential to get Turf S. And then we get 84 power and 24 stamina. Now, of course, if you haven't had time to build the strongest parents, you can get something similar in the realm. I mean, I'm trying to win like 95% of the time. If your Uma is like even substantially weaker than mine, but following the strat, you still should be able to get a fairly good win rate in the Libra Cup. Libra Cup is one of those ones where you're going to have a lot of control over being whether you're strong or not versus the RNG of Mile. And so this is the deck I'm using. I did not have luck on Rico when I pulled. So one of the things is I really didn't need hers because I can borrow, luckily, because I am super strong on the others. Hopefully you've had better luck on Rico, because if you have, you use Rico and then you borrow whatever else you need, whether it's a MLB Super Creek, MLB Rice Shower, or even Tamamo Cross. I really like Tamamo Cross because, one, she's got high training of effectiveness, but she also was buffed to have tail held high. Skill points are still there's very few of them. Tail held high is a very strong, very cheap skill. And it's a stamina card that gives a lot of stamina. So depending on your deck will depend on kind of where you substitute here. You have Manhattan Cafe. You have Mayano Top Gun. You have some of the free ones we got. Silent Suzuka, Stamina if you're really desperate. You could theoretically use Rice Shower Stamina, although I would not. Same thing with McQueen. Satono Diamond. I mean, you have options. It's really going to come down to your deck. When it comes to the speed options, I mean, Sweep Tosho, Shinko Windy, Asian Flash, King Halo, a lot of different options. It's going to come down to the sparks and where you're kind of at. And if you want some advice on what they kind of use for building it, you can also join my Discord and show what you have, and a lot of people will give you advice there, including myself when I have time. Now, as someone is actually mentioning in chat, yes, I like that Tamamo Cross. So someone in chat is mentioning she doesn't have special priority. I like that. My last run, if you watched my last run on stream, I was getting a lot more stamina than I needed, and speed was the problem. She's got 15 effectiveness, training effectiveness, and because you have 5 here, 10 here. So she's a floating stamina card that gives about 100 stamina when you take all of her events into account. And then she can land on things like speed and help out my other stats, because I'm already pretty healthy on stamina overall. And so having one that's floating with high training effectiveness is very useful. That may not be the same case for everybody else, so you just kind of have to adjust these cards as you see fit. But this is what I found works pretty well in the combo. 2 speed, 4 or 3 stamina with your Rico. 100% you want your Rico. Let's just go ahead and do a race now. Alright. Alright, so it's of course going to be Unity Cup. You got to build everything in Unity Cup. Alright, so in the beginning we don't have the ability to get arrows. So I like, and I think this has been a general advice I've seen from a lot of people, is on the first turn, if you have something with like a double or triple of Umas, like this for friendship, I hit that. Like this is 100% hit that. We need to build up friendship / hit our arrows for getting the spirit bursts. The second one, unless I have something crazy here, which I don't, then I do a recreation. I'm not bringing Tizuna on this one. As you can see, this is my deck. I do not have Tizuna. I think most people, if you have Narita Taishin, you know Tizuna is very useful for her bad mood down event. We're going to have to gamble a little bit for that one, because I have found taking Manhattan Cafe outperforms having to waste an extra turn to recover from that in terms of my stat. which is why I do not have Tizuna on this run. I was originally doing Tizuna with 2 stamina, Rico, and 2 speed. And while it made that event pretty easy, I found the stats overall were lower. Okay, so here, I mean, it's just typical Unity Cup. I'm chasing the arrows. I try and avoid guts if possible. I do want to make sure I'm hitting wit on occasion. Wit's going to be very important. But speed is definitely the weak point. Narita Taishin does have 10% speed. And so when in doubt, I try and hit speed. So if it's an option between hitting speed or stamina with this build, I go for speed. Now maybe you're doing a 3 speed, 2 stamina with Rico, which I think can work depending on your sparks and all that. Or you're using the power. You might want to err on the side of stamina instead of speed. It's really going to depend on your deck there. Okay, so here I have a Tamamo Cross, Super Creek, Manhattan Cafe. Okay, this one I'm going to take just because it's got the friendships. And these are better stamina cards than hers in general. But really want to build the friendship up, so 2 friendships and 2 arrows I will take. Okay, nice energy there. Okay, a speed with a double arrow. Arrows are important here, and it's speed. We're going to take it for the double arrow. The last thing we want to do is lose the Unity Cup. Okay, these runs, I do gamble. I gamble a lot in the beginning because I am willing to throw the Uma away very quickly. That's a very nice hit. It's an 8%. We gotta just get it, hopefully. I'm a gambling man at the beginning as much as possible. I want to get the strongest. Alright, at this point, unless we have a really good wit hit, which we do not, we're gonna rest. Now, one thing that I have hated with Rico is she doesn't like to show up. Okay, so this one we're going with power. I have found with this build that I'm currently doing, I'm not able to cap power, but I am able to get close to it if I get the luck I need. Okay, so this one is got a Rico hit. Okay, we're only good right now. We haven't done our first Rico. Absolutely want to hit Rico, put us in a great mood. She reduces the cost of the energy, and it's the same amount of arrows that Speed had. So now we're in good shape there. Okay, so... Ooh, there's definitely a guts hit. I mean, some of these will be fairly obvious. A lot of friendship, 2 hits. And we're like right there. We're right on the cusp. And this one's, so this one, I could go either way. I could use a wit hit to get that, but I'm like, eh. I think a nice rest would be here. Sometimes I'll take wit in those occasions, but that one was not strong enough. Okay, here's one where it's a wit for that, and that's it, versus a Rico and 2 friendships. I'll definitely take this over the arrow. It's not, if it's a single arrow by itself, it's not all that strong. It's quite tough to make those decisions sometimes, because you might be like, oh man, I need to hit those arrows to win the Unity Cup. And it's something you kind of have to gamble with to a certain extent. You don't want to pass up friendship for, and this one I'm going to take wit for sure. You don't want to pass up a lot of friendship just for an arrow. And sometimes a run dies just because you lose the Unity Cup. If you want to build a strong Uma, you have to take the risks on these. Now, Narita Taishin, I found that she does better in late than end on this. With the recent skill buffs, I never put them the front anymore. I keep them in one of their preferred positions, especially when it comes to their ult, with them triggering their ult. And it works so much better. I absolutely used to hate winning Ticket and Majiro Ryan, and now the runs are completely fine as long as I run them as late surgers. And, oh, someone in chat was asking on the Tamamo Cross gold skill. Fast and Furious is the gold for her. Very good for late surgers. Not useful at all for end closers. She's simply here for a stat stick, a floating training effectiveness, and tail held high is the main reason that I'm using that one. So, stamina and power versus speed. Now, speed's been typically my problem, but this one's not a big of a choice. I tend to go stamina and power since I am going to err when it comes to the hits on hitting speed. It's this early, there's not much difference. Okay, this one's an obvious one. You hit wit, get all those arrows, all that friendship. Gotta love those ones when they show up, especially on wit. The negative thing is I am not able to, this one, I am not using wit cards. Okay, this one, I like to take the last one here. Now there is the opportunity cost of a +10 and a potential -15, so we're potentially paying 25 energy for 2 random attributes +20. We're at max here. Depending on where I'm at here, I might shift it to here. I don't really like taking the top one. But one of these two is usually what I always take. And we're going to go with this one for the stats. We do try and mix in some extra races to get skill points. The deck I'm currently using has a lot of race bonus, so let's see. Okay, we got the bad one there, but it's still 50 stats. It's still paid off to a certain extent. So this one... Yeah, we're going to go with the friendships here, and this is going to get her ready to pop. I try and keep an eye on this, try and keep it over 50. If one of these is going to take it below that and the other one's not, that might adjust my opinion, but... Alright, nice. Alright, this one I never... Fetus on black, I never take practice perfect. Narita Taishin even more so, because she gets practice perfect double circle later with her secret event. Ooh, this one's a tough one. We have Rico. She's almost green. This one has 2 arrows. I really want to get her event off, and it has a lot of friendship here. We're going to bypass the arrows. This is the risk we're taking when it comes to the Unity Cup. But that's a good enough hit for me to risk it. Now Rico can show up for her event. We have 8 turns for that to happen. And this one looks like an obvious wit. We don't want to gamble. Really, we're starting to get to the point of gambling here. Another good one. Now, that's a 13% to... But this one's 3 friendship and 1 arrow. We're definitely going to take that on wit. Slowly working our way back to 50 without having to rest, which is pretty nice. Ooh, a rainbow. 7%. Alright, here's a big gamba. 5%, well, I wouldn't say big, but a 5% for 2 poppers and an arrow and a lot of friendship. And we get it. You gotta take those risks. You want the high roll. You slowly pull back on risk, the better the run's going over time. But this early on, definitely worth the risk. And we got Tamamo Cross coming in and giving us some stamina. Okay, this is pretty much a guaranteed rest, because it's even a 30% on wit. All refreshed. Nice. And this one's worth energy as well. Take the energy. Okay. Wit is kind of weird. Wit does not give as much stats on a pop. Instead, you get bonus skill points alongside it. I can make up for that on races, so I'd rather hit something else. So I have 2 options here. A Rico plus Taiki, so reduced cost, versus a Rainbow there. So as you can see, stamina's quite healthy. I'm a little worried about speed right now, but this is definitely the better hit, and it's Kita Sun Black, which we do want to get up friendship up so we can start getting speed rainbows. But we are a little bit behind on speed. That is the one thing that is harder in this build. Okay, there's a nice speed hit. It's taking us just below, but I think it's definitely good enough. 3 arrows. Man, Rico does not want to show up. That's typically what she does. Hey, right in time, right on time. Man, I say that and she shows up. That's always nice because that's not as important for the skill like Kazuna, but it is some free stamina. Okay, this one's a little tough. We're probably going to do this popper here. Yeah, because power is usually... We're not capping power very easily. This does have Tamamo Cross, which is giving us a little bit of bonus. Plus we're getting an arrow here. This is only 1 arrow. So we're going to go with that just to get the pop. Now we should be able to win the top race of Unity Cup because we've popped 3 now. And closer straightaways. We like to see that. Get some discounts. Yep. Oh wait, this is I was thinking that was the Unity Cup. This is just the first required race. Alright. There we go. Easy win. Now, one thing is, if I don't get my speed up, she will start to struggle to get wins outright. So, hopefully we can get some more speed on this next batch here. Alright. So, I like to just take a quick look at my team, make sure it's not doing anything funky. Like this right here. So, she is Mile C. I'm guessing it doesn't have anywhere else to put her. Medium A. We can't do Mile because I'm Mile D. She's Mile E. Mile C. Okay, so she's kind of in a bad spot. There's really nobody to fit that. Okay, so we know Mile's kind of a pinpoint here. Doesn't happen that often. Our long is really strong. 2 Ds. I wonder, can I shift one of these to medium? Although we have medium covered. I could take Super Creek on medium and Ketis on black to long. And I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, so now we have 2 Ds on here. It's still feeling like this one's going to be risky on the top one. We'll see what it says on the circles. But I like to kind of double check them there. Sometimes it does funky stuff. We're kind of screwed on Mile. And that's the one. Okay, so we are going to do the middle one here. We just kind of got unlucky with our current teammates. It is what it is. We just want to try and do the top ones on the rest of the races at this point. Okay. We're getting more teammates, so more arrows. Okay, we are right here. We don't have Tizuna, so we definitely want to top up our energy. Coming in with the extra stamina and guts, as you can see. Sympathy is useless, but the stats are always nice. It's not a dead run, though, if you don't get it. Okay, this one's a little tricky. Nothing too crazy here. Wit's always a nice choice if you can hit it, if there's nothing better. Now, there are the occasional do a race, but I don't think I want to do a G3. I want to get her ready to pop here. I'll take it. We need to get the speed hits too, so getting some friendship on Ketis on black is always good. And that's another good hit right there. Doubt anything's going to be better. Yep. We get a pop, 2 more moving up. A hint here, doesn't really do anything, but also she should be good for giving us some speed rainbows now. And hitting on power is always a good one too. Okay, reserve and strength, get my energy back. Energy is key. Pretty much always wanting to take that. I feel like this one's a fairly obvious hit here. A double stamina rainbow, a bunch of arrows. We take that. As you can see, the one thing we are hurting right now, we need speed. We definitely need speed. The same problem I've had constantly, but speed is what... We're at C here, so we're actually doing really good on that as well. Stamina and guts and wit. We're very healthy on stamina. I'm going to go with wit. Because wit is still going to be important here. There we go. There's some speed hits. Okay, Super Creek. I've had runs die because she decides to not show up too. One thing that's as we'll say, is a first world problem or a whale problem. The more SSRs you're using, the more your events are clogged up with those triple chained events for gold skills. And thus, the more likely that is potentially that you do not finish the chain for that. So the more SR cards, the less problems you'll have actually with getting that. Okay, here. Definitely a great hit. Rico. All those. Okay, we're slowly fixing speed here. This is good. Okay, not seeing anything crazy here. I have two options. We can do Rico, or we can race. No good races. Let's... And we'll just double check. I mean, I don't really like that wit hit. We're too low to get to a 50. Nothing crazy here. We're at a good enough point where Rico can help out. Rico's not good if you're low on energy, though. You'll want to rest instead. But that got us above. Here's the thing. Trying to get that long S Turf S. Long S is the main thing we must have. I really like Umamusume and Turf S. Oof. Alright, comes down to the second inspiration. Now, we will keep playing this even if it dies because I don't get long S. We'll just pretend that I got long S and finish the runoff and see where the stats lie. To kind of see the consistency I'm getting with this kind of deck and Sparks. Alright. And race bonus is so nice. The higher you can get your race bonus, the better. Even though it's not making you track, you don't want to sacrifice your cards to get race bonus. But it does help with getting more skill points. Well, I feel like this is an obvious hit. Which one to hit? But this is a problem that I had in the last one. Stamina kept given, and speed was not. But you kind of can't skip that. Man, Rice Shower's coming in. Too bad we can't finish her chain. Here's the thing, though. When you're not using Rice Shower, this one ends the chain. When you're using Rice Shower, never select this one. When you are using Rice Shower, like I'm using Super Creek right now, select that one. A free 40 skill points. We will take that. Because we're not going to finish that chain anyway. Go ahead and kill it. Okay, here's another awkward spot. And we're not good enough for Mile. So one thing you kind of have to think about here, and this is tough because it's gambling to a certain extent. We want to be full energy going into the summer. If I rest here or use Rico, we'll have decent energy. We're required to do this race, and we won't lose energy, so we'll still be like right around here. Then we can use a skill here and rest here. Or if we have an option, we could use Rico. So actually, this is actually, rather than doing the race, I see as a good opportunity to use Rico. Now, depending, if I was like really low on stamina, I might race, rest, or some other form or that. You kind of have to plan out going. You want to go into the summer with as much energy as possible, but don't rest or use Rico when you have that much energy left. So you kind of have to plan out a few ahead. Okay, this one is... I'm really healthy on stamina. Stamina is not going to be a problem for me. Non-standard distance. This is a non-standard distance at a 3000. But definitely not worth it. But if you feel like you're going to be a little bit weak, you can. But skill points are very tight. And I don't want to be taking this for something that I can get through my stamina. Skill points and stamina 100% there. Now, if you're doing a front runner, that you will take. You will take that with the front runner. All right. Winning the derby. All those big fours. Alright. Ooh, this is a unique scenario. Man, some people probably... I'm gonna conserve this. I think we've hit enough to do fine on the Unity Cup here. This one's giving me double arrow. We're getting some stamina. And then we can rest. / use Rico going to the next one. If we hit Wit, now we're in a very... we hit that Wit hit, we're going to be in a very awkward position going into this next turn. You don't want to rest, but then again, you could have something... we could... Okay, so we could Wit hit here. There's nothing good enough there, though. Definitely going to just use Rico and top this up as much as possible over the summer. Okay. Now, I want to try and avoid using any more Rico because we're getting close to her bad mood event. Okay, Unity Cup. We should, being a seed, defeat them. Regardless of what this says, we should be good. And you can look at your team if you want again. But Tazuna likes to lie. Yeah, Sprint is definitely our weakest, but we've got C, we're D's here. We're now on long. It's reordered us onto long. And so, yeah, we got to see that. Yeah, we're very strong on this one. But you could always have bad luck. I mean, we've already done the middle one, so you pretty much want to do the top one every single time after you've done one time in the middle. And as you can see, Tazuna doesn't tell the truth very well. And that's what I like to see. Man, it keeps putting this thing on wit. But we need speed, and that's what we're taking here. Now, see, the arrows here, these ones, they're already capped, so it's not helping. We could go over that, but Guts is generally bad, and we need speed. Nothing else here is good enough. I just have to know that we're probably going to have to rest. If I was very desperate for speed, or maybe in the second summer, and it wasn't this... I mean, this one's only that plus one single arrow. You might want to rest here. But at least it's a single rainbow. We're getting 29. I'd really like to have 600 by the end of the second year, which we're very low right now for what I'd like. And luckily, we're not missing anything there, so it actually kind of worked out. Now we're getting to a little bit of another weird spot I kind of forgot to mention. 2 more turns, she's going to get knocked down. 3 mood. But with the secret event... And the game just crashed. 1 second. Alright, I am back. And so as you might notice here from this cut, I'm like 4 turns ahead of where the game crashed. So you probably already can tell in chat where people are calling me out. But as I restarted the game, OBS, when it crashed, OBS decided to switch it to another game that I have in the background. One thing I do is I play a lot of gacha games like Nikkei and Girls Frontline 2. And they're almost always running in the background, so I can switch back and forth between them when I do all my dailies, like, at the same time. So, those last 4 turns I was talking, and Nikkei was just playing in the background while that was happening. Nothing crazy happened during them, I just did some training. Just know that the training, this is the stats I have now. So take the before, and this, so I think I did a stamina hit or a speed hit. But the main thing I was talking about is planning for her mood down that is going to come on this next turn, right before the Kika show. You want to kind of plan, depending on how you're doing this. If you're using Tazuna's 4th event here gives a ton of energy. You want to make sure that you're actually going to be able to utilize that energy, or you're basically wasting a turn anyway doing it. So in this situation... With Tazuna, I would actually be in a bad spot because I would rest or use Rico or something, have the bad mood, and then need to use it again. And thus some of the energy be wasted. We're going to be going through the Recreation Gamble, which is trying to get the prayer, which not only gives you a mood up, but potentially could heal you. With this deck, I have found that it's actually better than Tazuna, even if I lose an additional turn doing this, because of how much more stamina I'm getting and how safer the run is. And so, as you can see, our stamina is pretty much set. Speed's our problem. Wit, we need to make sure we get a little bit more wit as well. So we are safe to rest here and go into the mood down. Bam. There's the mood down, practice poor. The best thing that can happen with the Recreation Gamble, which let's make sure there's nothing crazy here. It's a double stamina, but I'm not going to do a double stamina hit for 22. Always sucks to miss these, but you're guaranteed to get this mood down here. We're going to do the mood... So the best thing that can happen is you get the Prayer Shrine, which gives you a mood up, and potentially heals that practice poor. And then hopefully that goes into a Crane game, that then gives you even more. That rarely happens, but it does sometimes happen. And if we don't get it here, we can try it again on the next one. And we did not get the shrine, which sucks. But that's fine. We're at least at a normal mood. Okay, now we just go. You kind of play as normal. The big thing is, now that we can fix negative statuses from the extra training, I try not to go after fixing it until I have a dead turn. We don't currently have a dead turn for that yet, though. So, and we have to have it fixed by the Nika. We have to fix that condition by this race, which is in, well, when it updates here, 9 turns. And there's a big ol' popper stamina. And our stamina is super healthy. It's gonna come down to a lot of speed now. Alright. Man, it's gonna keep giving me these doubles, isn't it? This is what always sucks when you don't get lucky. You see these. This is definitely another. I think I'm gonna just go with that one again. Now, I'm gonna probably, depending on what we see next, do a... It just wants me to keep hitting stamina. We're gonna do another recreation gamble. And if that doesn't work, then we're gonna have to do an infirmary. And this run's kinda... Yeah. We went all the way up the... Oh, well, we don't need claw machine now, but it'll help a little bit, I guess. But we'll have to use the infirmary or get lucky with an additional training to fix it. But at least we get to play the mini game. Hey, this is a new one. Isn't this the new one? An Agnes Digital. Brand new crane prize. Wish I would have done this on that the first one. It just drops it. I'm never gonna get the achievement where you need to get stinking 10 of these things. I swear. Getting that Mayano Top Gun. I see another one down here. Bam. But this is one thing you want to get because this will give you additional. This will give you an additional mood up. So that's kind of part of the gamble with the wreck gamble. But we're now going to lose an additional turn when we eventually go to the infirmary. Which we're going to have to do. Which I'm not liking anything I see here. Okay, I'd rather do the Arima Keenan and fix it later, though. We do want to get bonus races in for extra skill points. So, we're going to do the race here and get those extra skill points. That way I don't waste it on do my additional one in like some G2s. Right now, this run, just for the keeping up, this is kind of a low roll run so far. It's not the best. But stats are still doing okay. But this is most likely not going to turn into an ace. But we'll see what we get. Because we're going to need a lot of speed hits. This has been kind of the typical thing, is not getting enough hits for speed to show up. But if we're getting that really high stats, this is what I kind of have to do. Let's see here. We just want to go with energy. Yeah, let's top up that energy. Sometimes if it's a little bit higher, I like to just take the skill points there. Especially if I'm going to have to use the infirmary. There's a big speed hit. Some bonus stamina. Raffle. Buncho carrots. Protein powder. Okay, I don't see anything I care about here. We can take that little bit of energy. Just so you know, the infirmary still doesn't always cure. This could very well kill the run completely, but let's see what happens. There we go, we got rid of it. It is, and this is absolutely a must-do on Narita Taishin. Because you're going to see here, she has an event on her secret event with the Nikkei show that we are going to get 30 stats in every single stat. It is huge. Okay, we're definitely going to not... That one sucks. There's literally nothing else on there. Man, it is being mean to me. We're gonna... Man, we don't really want the double arrows. This one's a bad hit. This is a... We're gonna take the stamina hit just because. We at least get an arrow in that. But speed is definitely looking suspect right now. We definitely take power here. Because my power's just... is going to be just below speed once if we can eventually start hitting speed. This is the problem I've been having in a lot of my runs, though. They just don't land there. Some people will say in chat, special priority is fake. It does not exist. We're going to just top up stamina again here. We just got to hope we can get a lot of speed. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, man. Alright, after this, we're pretty much just gonna hit nothing but speed. And that's the problem that has been most of my runs. They love to land on their stamina, but the speed cards just don't land on speed enough. But now we are solid on stamina. It literally has to pretty much be nothing but speed at this point. We are easily probably hitting 1100 stamina. So yeah, someone join. I have to. You can't turn that down. Alright, here's where we learn if it's a dead run. We need long S. And the run is dead. She's not going to be an ace, but we're going to finish it like we got long S. So in this scenario, it's very weird. So the only things I really want to hit are wit and speed. Our wit's a little low as well. Okay, we're too low to do a Rico hit here. Yeah, someone mentioned, Tamamo Cross has no special priority, and she's landing on stamina more than Kita-san is landing on power. Or landing on speed. Oh, my dog just hit my mic there. Alright. Sorry about that. It was a little bump from the dog there. And yes, for those wondering, the multipliers for Narita Taishin, as I mentioned in the beginning, 10% speed at 20% guts. Watch all the speed hits show up now, though, that my run's basically dead. We'll probably get a lot of speed hits now, but it'll be good for the video to showcase the true potential stats you can get on this run. Okay, so this is the event where you can randomly cure a bad condition. Oh, my dog's just barking upstairs. Sorry, I just had to make sure nothing's going on. Alright, we'll hit that. Alright. And now, yeah, they're gonna show up. It's gonna say, your run's dead, now we'll give you what you want. But this is kind of what you have to do. At this point, we're in just desperation mode, and it's just keep hitting speed, pretty much. Stamina's good. We do not need to touch it. As much as I like that, I don't need stamina anymore. And I don't like that enough, we're gonna at least, we can at least use our Ricos here. Oh, alright. All right, we're at the last Unity Cup here, so let's go ahead and see. Okay, so we did luck out, no Turf Queens, we just got the Daydreamers. And all double circles. Let's see what we get. Big ol' wins. Man, I have a feeling I'm gonna max out my speed here, but hey, it'll be good for the content of this video to showcase the true potential if you get lucky. And yeah, we don't care about stamina. We are really low on speed, so we're just gonna hit speed and wit, speed and wit. Now, okay, I don't see a good one there. We're gonna hit wit here. We want to try and at least get 400 wit. We're above 50%, so we're gonna play it safe. And if we don't have a good speed hit, that's not even a good wit hit there. Okay, we're gonna just actually rest on this one. But if it was a decent wit hit, we hit it. Okay, that's a big old popper there. Pop that. Early start. That's a skill that comes from the gold chip card. Oh. On this one, we're so healthy, I'm actually going to take the top one here for some additional guts. Yeah, it's taunting me. It's saying you didn't get long S. We're gonna show up today. We're gonna show up. Okay, on this one, I like to take the hint for the discount. Just spam that speed. Just strong the way I am. Speed. So, usually I take power on that one, but speed is the problem. This is gonna probably be a little bit lower on the power side of things. But I still should be able to hit. If we get the speed hits that we're looking for, our power should still be around 1,000, which is still pretty solid. Okay, so we have 3 to the Arima Keenan. We'll use our last Rico. I think Rico gives a little bit of speed on this last one. Take that. Oh no, stamina and guts. Okay, well, we're stupidly healthy on stamina here. That's what we like to see. There's the last Tamamo Cross. A little extra stamina that we don't need. Okay. So we got 3 more turns after this one. We definitely don't want to take that one. So this is where it gets really tricky. We're going to just hit wit. So we're going to be at least... Because we want to at least try and have 400 plus wits. On some of my better runs, I get around that 500 to 600 mark. But right now, we're just delaying for that pop-off. We need the... Like, we're now in... Hopefully, we can get a double speed with maybe a Tamamo Cross on there. We'll get about another 80 here. So it is very possible to max speed here. We just got to get a little lucky on our rainbows here. There's her secret event, depending on how... Ooh, I got the max level of that event. That is one of her secret events where, depending on races she won, you get like a percentage chance of getting some power skill points, or the skill early start, which is the top of it. So we actually got the best version of that event right there. Alright, you just come in here. Hopefully you've done good enough on your bubble pops to win this thing. Even with all double circles, though, it's no guarantee. We had double circles on everything, and we lost one. I have lost that with all double circles. Let's see what we get. And we're delaying again. This run is not going to probably produce the speed that we want. Unless we get that big speed hit. We need at least probably one double and a single at a minimum. And you take that. Ooh, baby. I wish this would have happened on my last run. It's very possible. It's very possible to max speed here. But we need another double. Not that it matters. This run's already dead because I don't have long S. But this would have been a very good run without... if we would have gotten it. We are not maxing speed, though. We are not going to max it. We'll get around 1150. 400 and something, yeah. So, as you can see, though, on the numbers, it works out pretty well. Now, this is with a whale deck. So, just know, I've been doing practice runs, and with... You can kind of mix and match your sparks in here as you need. The main things you're going to need as a... free-to-play or whatever, when it comes to mix and matching these kind of in a similar way, you're not going to be able to get as high of power. Everything else is very obtainable, and even potentially close to power with a really good run. But this is the stats that I ended up here with. So we have almost the 1200, and we're really healthy. Like, this would have been, if I would have had one additional double speed. I think one additional double speed, and this is, and a long S, and this is perfect. Perfect run. And this much stamina, I will say, with this much stamina, I would have to kind of use the Umulator. But if you can max out stamina alongside speed, I would probably forego... Holy crap, I did not get... Okay, another... Like I mentioned in the beginning, another problem with having a lot of SSRs is it's very hard to finish all of their events. Hence why I do not have a Swinging Maestro. Here's the thing, though. If I did end up maxing speed, having long S, I think I could take this with just Sleeping Lion. And that's because I'm going to have 3 aces. You only need one of them to trigger. And so I could do Sleeping Lion, just not have Swinging Maestro. Of course, you have Encroaching Shadow. Tail held high, of course. Early start's got a pretty decent... We kind of might come back to that. Straightaways, we've got a decent one. No Stopping Me, must have. This is going to be a must have in everything but frontrunners for Libra Cup, which is why you must win. We have Kyoto Racecourse if we really wanted more stamina. This is something where I would take a look at the Umulator. Okay, so we don't have actually much other skills. Part of the gamble of the Unity Cup 2 is getting skills from your pop bubbles. So we got that. We got Long Corners. I mean, we would have... we would have, if we got it, Swinging Maestro. Right here. We don't have Swinging Maestro. So... go with It's On, I guess. And... could probably take Highlander. This one does have uphills. We might want to take that one. Could put Lone Wolf in there. I've noticed there's less people using Lone Wolf. One of the big things from Taurus Cup was the idea of always putting Lone Wolf on your debuffer, just so you can stop everyone else from using it. That seems to happen less and less now. It's starting to fall off. So this can be a cheap speed increase. Never take Sympathy unless it's the only thing you can afford when you're out of skill points, and you can just put it on there to say, hey, I had extra skill points that I couldn't use anywhere. Early Start is, I think, an okay one. I don't know if maybe I would take that over, just so I can have more skills. I'd take that over It's On. And this is where you kind of just fine tune and you try and find that perfect combination. I'm going to be taking early start just for the spark potential for it. But it could be Highlander. I mean, it's just going to depend. Everybody's run's going to be very, very widely because of the skills you're going to get off the pop bubbles. But that's what I would have here. So no stopping me, sleeping lion, encroaching shadow, long corners, straightaways, tail held high, early start, ramp up. We'd probably get swinging maestro in place of ramp up and early start, but that's what we're going to get here. And so this is a dead run, but who knows? It could turn into a parent. This gold ship was an ace run. Big ol' S. Look at that. Man, we're almost S plus on this one. I said this would be a top tier one if we got that stinking long one. Now, if you're free to play, this will probably be if you have a good roll like this, it'll probably be an S. You'll probably be down here because you're not going to have as strong of cards, but you can still be down here in the S range. It is possible with just SRs. And even if you're super lucky, you can get these stats too, even without these godly cards. You just need even more luck than I had here. But that is a run, and ooh, we got an early start spark. Although I don't think I'm going to really want to grind that into my parents, so this one's probably a dead Uma. So that is Narita Taishin. That is my highest one I've gotten. This one's way higher than my last one. But yeah, that's how to run Narita Taishin. I know it's a pretty long run there, and there's a lot of issues in there with my game crashing, my dogs deciding to act up, so I had to do a couple cuts. But that is kind of how you can build her. Just know there's different ways you can approach it. Stamina, you're probably hearing 1100. I am finding with a gold ship that I have built that has 1000 works fine with 1 gold recovery triggering. I have 2, but only needs 1 of them to trigger, so I have a redundancy. And no rushed. Now, she can die if she has rushed and all that, but that's the reason to have 3 aces. I find having 3 aces and gambling for a stronger overall Uma versus making a safer one is the way to go. It depends on you. You can target more stamina so you're more likely to survive, but your Umas overall could be a little bit weaker. It's just going to depend on what you have going for you, and also somewhat of the luck. I mean, this one, I wasn't targeting 1200 stamina, but I almost got it. So that'll be it for now, and if you like my content, if you could like, comment, subscribe, it really helps, and thanks for watching.